What's up, DVU day 289. Having a really good day today, actually. Even though I haven't been feeling too great the past couple of days, definitely can tell my body that it's getting better. So, excited about that. But anyway, I had Old Testament today in the morning around 9:15. And is he sleeping right now? But anyway, I had Old Testament in the morning around 9:15. Class was pretty good. It was kind of not an eye-opener, but it was kind of not a shock either because I should have known better. But we had a paper due today that I didn't know. So anyway, go to class and she's like, "All right, turn in your essay." And I'm sitting there like, "Oh my God, I forgot about the essay." And so it was me, Izzy, Evan, Wagner, both, all of us forgot about it too. So we're all like, "Oh man, this is great!" Like, me and Izzy are new. Evan's his second semester; he's a freshman still. So we're all like, we're really messing up pretty good already, and we're gonna be missing some classes due to baseball. So it's like we can't really, drop off like that. So anyway, we went up to at the end of class. We're like, "Hey, look, we're really sorry. We just, last night was Dancing with the Sections. It lasted till like midnight. It was a really long night. And your class is on Thursday. We're trying to get other work done on Thursday night for Wednesday. And so Wednesday night, we really didn't think we'd have any time. We just kind of forgot about it as soon as we finished Dancing with the Sections. Watching that, we went to bed. So anyway, we were like, "Look, we're really sorry. If there's a way we can make it up for maybe half credit and still get it to you by the end of the day, would you be okay with that?" And she's like, "Oh, no." She's like, "I understand." She's like, "That was probably a long night." She's like, I didn't get to go to that either." She's like, "But if you give it to me by the end of the day, I'll give you full credit for it still." So we were like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It won't happen again." So anyway, I went from that to going over to my next class thinking, okay, I really got to get this paper done. But my boy Evan goes, "I'll have it to you by lunchtime." I'm thinking, thanks, Evan. I won't have it done by lunchtime. But I was telling Evan, like, "Dude, I can't get that done by lunch. Like, I have no break before that." And he's like, "Let's just get it to her sometime later." So I ended up typing it, I think, after lunch. But anyway, after that class, I went over to motor development class. Pretty good little class. Really enjoying that one. I just keep dropping my cross. Anyway, motor development was a fun class. Always gonna be a fun class. We're a lot of sports people in the class. Teacher's a assistant softball coach, so it's always gonna be good. I mean, today was a little different struggle as far as trying to understand what she was talking about. So it's like the first real hard time in her class understanding, how she was kind of going with it. So, but it's gonna be good. She hadn't really given us too much work. Just kind of keep reading the chapters. But anyway, after that, I went over to lunch, had a good time, had some food, chilling with my baseball buddies, eating some good stuff. And then after that, came back to the dorm, did the paper, went back, dropped the paper off, went back to the union, picked up 2 packages. I got 2 packages in the mail from Mom and Pop back home, some letters. In fact, I got a letter from my mom, which is really uplifting. Really liked reading that. So thanks, Mom. And I got a letter from my little bro, Justice. And some of y'all, if y'all know him, y'all know he can be pretty funny at times. And I got one of the funniest letters I've read since I've been up here, or one of the funniest things I've heard in a while. So I'm really going to enjoy getting those letters from him, being the typical clown he is. I literally read my letter today, laughed out loud pretty much half the time. And then I thought it was so funny, I brought it to practice today and showed some other guys, and they were cracking up laughing. They were like, "That's your little brother? That dude's like a comedy genius." So anyway, it was pretty cool. So I appreciate you too, Justice. Thanks for the letter. Look forward to getting them every week. So anyway, after that, we had like a package of like a vacuum or whatever we needed for up here, and then some good little goodies. Some I think brownie, like some banana nut cake. Some other little things. We didn't get the king cakes, so Mom, Dad, if you're watching this, what happened to the king cakes? But so it was good. And then after picking all that up, dropping it off, came back here, got dressed, cleaned up, and went to practice. And practice was pretty good today. We we're in the blue gym, which is mostly like stuff we'll do defensively, but we've really been focusing on bunting and defensive bunt work, for the past 2 days. So, again, we're still focusing on that. And today, we had the guy, I forget his name, Jason something, some guy with the Diamondbacks organization, or was. He works with us on running. And, man, he ran us pretty good today. We were like, "Come on, bro, for real. Like, do we have to do this another sprint? Like, you said last one like 2 times ago." So he wore us out pretty good, but it's good for us. So whatever's good, you got to keep doing. But so anyway, that was good. And then went ahead and did the bunting drills. I always felt like I was doing really good as far as the drag bunts and the sack bunts, just really getting them down and placing them where I needed to place them. So I enjoyed it, because that's kind of the game. I like playing that game, small ball, and it's part of my game too. So I really like doing that, especially working on it. And then kind of halfway through practice, Coach Chuck wanted to see me throw. Told me yesterday, so he kind of brought me over, and I threw a pen today. I did so. I hadn't thrown a pen in a while, and it showed. But anyway, he was kind of teaching me up on my throwing motion, fixing me up with some things also, not only to help me throw the ball pitching-wise, but that I'll take now, when I'm throwing it in general, things that are really going to help as far as taking some pain out of my shoulder that I might have been having, or, just getting the right throwing mechanics down, which I really haven't worked on for a long time. I've just been putting so much work in hitting-wise and focusing so much on that. I really kind of put off, to the side a little bit as far as my throwing mechanics. So it's kind of good to brush up back on that and really, kind of focus more on that for the next coming weeks. So I enjoyed it. And then after that, like I said, got cleaned up, came over here, went out, and I had dinner with my boys, sitting with my baseball buddies, my boy Gator. Me and him, man, we got some special stuff coming if we can get this worked out. So I'm not allowed to tell y'all what we're planning, but let's just say over the weekend there might be something big going down that will be on video. But anyway, so it was good hanging out with him, chatting with him, have a good time. And then after that, went and hung out with my good friend India. So we've been hanging out lately. It's getting pretty cool. But anyway, I want to get to the verse. We got Proverbs. Today is the 30th. We're reading Proverbs chapter 30, verse number 33. And today is 30th, so tomorrow is going to be the last proverb of the day we'll be reading. So we've gone through 31 of these things after tomorrow, and we officially did it, the 31-day proverb challenge for January. So, but anyway, 33 says, For as churning milk produces butter, and as twisting the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife. It's talking about, God uses all kinds of times where he's comparing or he's using analogies and stuff like that. And this is one of those instances where he's saying, just like, when you churn milk, it produces butter. Just like when you twist a nose or you punch it, it produces blood. The same way, when you're stirring up anger, it's going to produce, strife amongst the people. As Christians, we never want to be the one who stirs up anger, in somebody else. We're the one who wants to try and, be the one who calms people down or shows the love and the compassion and the grace and the, those type of things of the same as Christ showed. We don't want to be the one who's stirring up things, who's causing those things to happen. Because if we are, we're just stirring up strife, and that's not what God intended for us to do. So don't be like that. Don't try and stir up anything. If you have somebody say something that's not good, either don't say it or don't confront them where it's going to be in front of people, and stir up some more strife with them. So I like that verse. But anyway, verse I want to talk about tonight, really good. It's let's see. Okay. Romans chapter 8, verses 8 to 11. It says, Those controlled by the sinful nature cannot please God. You, however, are controlled not by the sinful nature, but by the Spirit, if the Spirit of God lives in you. And if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he does not belong to Christ. But if Christ is in you, your body is dead because of sin, yet your spirit is alive because of righteousness. And if the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his Spirit who lives in you. Some really powerful verses there. The beginning talks about, those controlled by the sinful nature cannot please God. Those who are, it says controlled. And controlled is such a strong word because it's, the way I look at it as you can't break that. Controlled being like, if you're a guy who plays video games, you're pushing the buttons, controlling what's going on the screen. It's the same way if you're living in this world, and if sin is controlling you, the sinful nature of this world is directing what your path is and directing what you're going to do, then you can't possibly please God, because you can't serve two people. You can't be controlled by two things like that. You got to be controlled by one, and it's got to be God. And so anyway, it kind of goes on to saying, yet you, however, we as Christians, we're controlled not by the sinful nature of this world, but by the Spirit of God, the Spirit of God that lives inside of us. If he's truly living in us, we should be controlled by that. He should be the one that leads our every step and guides our every path and, helps us make the decisions, the right decisions, the wise ones. And it continues on saying that And if anyone does not have the Spirit of Christ, he does not belong to Christ. So again, saying like, look, if you don't have the Spirit of God, you can't say you belong to Him. If He's not living inside of you and you can't feel that inside of you, then you can't claim that you're, either Christian, or you can't claim that you belong to the body of Christ. It continues off saying that, but if Christ is in you, your body is dead of sin, dead because of sin, yet your spirit is alive because of righteousness. Saying that because Christ, is in us, our body is dead because of the sin. Our fleshly body, it's going to be dead. We're all going to die eventually, on this earth. But it says, but it says, yet our spirit is alive. It's going to stay alive because of righteousness, because we understand what He did on the cross for us, because we accepted Him in our heart, because we have His Spirit inside of us. Our spirit's never going to die. And it says, and the Spirit of Him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you. He who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through His Spirit who lives in you. It's talking about the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is the same Spirit that lives in you and me. The same Spirit that Jesus had when He was healing the blind man and making the lame walk. That's the same Spirit we have inside of us. If we have the same Spirit inside of us, we can do the same things. So it's kind of saying again, like, the same way Jesus was raised from the dead. Well, when we all die, we're all going to heaven if we're, obviously if we're born again and saved and believe in God and have Him in our heart. So it's as if we're going to be, not raised from the dead physically, but spiritually. We kind of are, but we're never dying anyway, spiritually. So really like those verses. Hope you like them too. Y'all hit that like, share, subscribe, double tap buttons as usual. Sorry for the long DVU, but hey, quick note. Yesterday's DVU, sorry for the late post. I'm posting that actually right before this one. So if you want to watch yesterday's, I guess you can, when you're watching this now, go, by the time you're watching this, you ain't going to be able to click it, but go to my profile, YouTube page, click on the page, scroll down, go to the one from yesterday. It's going to be up, and check it out. It's a really, really good one. I finally got all the video clips and all that merged together. So, it's going to be long, but it's going to be worth the wait, and it's going to be worth like watching the whole thing, because it's got some really cool footage in there. So anyway, DVU day 289, that's a wrap. Peace out. Y'all have some sweet dreams. Catch y'all Friday. It's the weekend.